Welcome to my Let's Play of Spelunky. This is episode 10, and I'm Psychedelic Eyeball. So, in today's adventure, we're gonna play as this fine gentleman who wears a dead tiger on his face, who was our prize for finishing the game successfully. And yeah, in the future, I'm just gonna skip the character select screen because by this point everybody's already seen it and I'm pretty sure that everybody knows what it looks like. And finally, we pretty much see all of the characters that we acquire anyway, and I'm just gonna talk about them, so this way we'll all stay on the same page. So, about the last playthrough, well, what exactly happened in it, because I'm not too sure anymore. Honestly, this really wasn't the one playthrough that changed much. But with that said, we did manage to see what a teleporter is, and we managed to telefrag a shopkeeper and fight a spider without using either spike shoes or bombs, which I guess is kinda neat. But in terms of actual progress, however, it kinda felt like a step backwards, so let's try to see him do new things today. So with that said, I'd like to thank every single person who offered suggestions on playthroughs that I will attempt into the future, and oh, it's mystery box time, and guess what, I have enough money in order to get it, so let's get ready for disappointment. Or not, holy shit, we actually managed to outdo the price of the mystery box, because usually this costs $2,000 more, so hey, thank you shopkeeper for finally being nice. So yeah, just in order to clarify, what we're gonna do here is get to the secret ending, and once we'll do that, we'll do all of the weird playthroughs that people have suggested me to do, and I'm also going to do stuff like speedruns, the no gold challenge, and whole sort of things like that. There also was talk about doing a no item run at some point, which should be pretty interesting, a pacifist run where I don't kill any enemies except for Olmec, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna be hell, but that's exactly why I want to attempt it. And of course there'll also be the requisite stuff like doing big money at some point. I'm pretty sure that we're gonna do this one at the same time that we will go to the secret ending, because that's usually a pretty good way to go about this situation. With that said, there's still a couple of secret stuff there and there that we haven't seen. I mean, there's also still another location that we didn't see yet in the game, so hopefully we'll be able to see it at some point. Oh, we're finally gonna be able to elucidate one of the game's many secrets, because now we go to the snake pit level, and we have the Hujet High, which allows us to see through walls. And we get a new character, a Mexican dude. Yeah, speaking of, there's still the character in the mothership that we still have to unlock. He doesn't appear all that often, and we still have yet to go back to it and have a successful run, so here's to another... No! God damn it, what are you doing? Well, that could have been worse, but yeah. This is why I really don't like the hired help too much. So, here's a secret. At the bottom of each snake pit, there is a mattock which is buried underground at the total bottom. You'll be able to see it if... Okay, I was kinda getting worried for my hired help here. Just because that he's close to being worthless doesn't mean that I must let him to die. So might as well spend some time into the slots just in order to show it off a little bit more, because the last time that I played I did nothing but lose, but first victory! So earning the money prize just gives you twice the amount of money that you bet, and by the way you cannot bet any higher than $2,500. Because the weird thing is that even though through the course of the game the prices of items in shop will keep increasing more and more, but the roulette doesn't, and honestly the more you advance through the game, it will become less and less useful. So we won the jackpot, which is only 3 times the amount that you bet, which is kind of lackluster. Honestly, the only reason to play is in order to get the item. Ah, I thought I was gonna get it, but then again it's only a bunch of ropes, but I still wanted to showcase what happens when you finally win. We gotta see that little door opening at one point. So, are we done or not? No, I'm not done. I want this item, goddammit. I don't care that it's totally worthless. I'm here in order to win the big prize. So the one item which is being offered is kinda lackluster right now, but sometimes you can get very useful items such as jetpacks, shotguns, the freeze ray, and considering it only costs $2,500 in order to play, it can sometimes be a very good investment in order to get cheap items, that is, if you manage to win. Which I'm definitely not doing right now, but at least I'm managing to earn some money in the process. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's the one danger with gambling, however. It definitely takes up your entire time, and if you stay there too long, then the ghost will pay you a visit. So I figure it's time to get the hell out of here before we die. Or before my hired help dies, because he seems to have issues going all the way back here. And yeah, fun fact, the ghost will chase whoever is closest to him. So right now he's chasing me, but earlier he... I really have no clue what the hell he's doing, but I figure we're oh, okay. Okay, we've had the powers of the AI into action. Now, it could be an opportunity in order to try and farm some diamonds, but I'm not really comfortable with my loadout right now in order to avoid the ghost, so I'm just going to grab a few quick jewels there and there, and we'll get the hell out of here. Even though I really don't like the soundtrack of this game in general, I kinda like the way that it sounds whenever it's being down-pitched and downshifted all the way down to hell at such a slow speed. It feels appropriately spooky. So the good news are, I finally have enough money in order to be able to buy the Hunk whenever I'll stumble on the black market. Whenever you want to go for the secret ending, which pretty much requires you to buy the Hunk, you do need to make sure that you collect at least $500,000 on the mine section, because if you happen to see the black market entrance in the first level of the jungle, then you may not have enough money in order to get all that you need in order to be able to buy it, which is kind of a bad thing. Because otherwise you end up having to rob the black market, which is pretty tricky considering how many shopkeepers there are down here. And finally, you'll have the shopkeepers hounding you for pretty much the entire game. And whenever you get to the final true location of the game, they definitely are a huge nuisance. But we're probably gonna cross that bridge whenever the time will come. Yeah, it's definitely going to take us some time in order to get all of our belongings down here. And yeah, I've claimed this puppy, it is mine, I've seen it first. Yeah, this is kind of a gratuitous bomb, but at the same point, I just cannot say no to all of that extra money. And by the way, the pickaxe is a really good way of earning extra money in this game, because whenever you have the spectacles or the Hujat hide, then that just means you can just dig random pieces of the ground there and there in order to excavate all of the hidden jewels underground, which makes for really fast money. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that more than half of my money in this one playthrough has been acquired because of the pickaxe. And finally, the pickaxe in this version of the game is a lot better than in the classic version, because the number of swings that you were afforded with the classic pickaxe was pretty flexible and variable, because there were times where the pickaxe could last you for something like over 2 or 3 levels, and some other times it will just break after 1 or 2 swings, which definitely was annoying considering how expensive it is. But the pickaxe is now hugely improved on this version of the game, and now it's worth using. Honestly, in this one version of the game, if you don't have any items that you must be holding on your hands at all times, you pretty much should get yourself a pickaxe, because it usually won't take you too much time in order to be able to buy it back. And by that I mean just retrieving all of the money that you previously lost on it. Yeah, compared to the last playthroughs that we've done, we're definitely going a whole lot slower, but slow and steady wins the race. So this is the easiest way to kill piranhas, just drain the entire water and you will pretty much get rid of them in a jiffy. Oh boy, I always get nervous whenever I see the Ujat High reacting whenever you're inside the shop, because that may mean that you will find the entrance to the black market inside the shop, which will make it so that you will pretty much have to piss off the shopkeepers in order to get to it. And now my mattock finally broke. So the way I'm seeing it right now, I pretty much think that the entrance to the black market is stuck between the vault and the shop. Going there without pissing off the shopkeeper will be really hard. Yep, the signal is getting colder, and now it's gonna light itself back on in a jiffy. Yep, the entrance is right next to the vault, so I'm gonna need some very careful bomb placement. Oh, come on! Now, okay. Now, as long as I don't bomb the brick walls inside the vault, I should be good. Yes, I've done it! I managed to get through without pissing off anybody, so now her way toward is finally cleared, but we might as well get some more extra money before we go into the vault, because that's just gonna make myself some more spending money. And besides, with that one mystery gift, I got Climbing Glove, which is the same exact value than the mystery box, and all in all, this is a good item for me to have right now. Also, holy shit, the mystery box has been useful 2 and 2 into this one update. This is definitely a record. Usually, I'm very glad if I even manage to get one good item out of the deal, and now it smiled on me twice. Yeah, right now I'm definitely holed up in here because I must not jump in front of the Tiki Man, because otherwise I'm pretty much gonna be dead by Boomerang. So yeah, usually why you don't want to buy boomerangs into a shop, this is pretty much why. In the jungle, you will find plenty of boomerangs everywhere. Because Tiki Men are pretty common, they're also pretty deadly if you ask me, and this pretty much makes it very easy for you to get this weapon in your hands. But in the end, the boomerang is still pretty inexpensive as it is, and it's pretty useful for its price, so this is still one of those weapons that you may end up buying at one point in your adventure, just in case, well, you want one ready for the mines, and also if you want to have one for the later parts of the game after you're through with the jungle, if you're lucky enough to get to a shop, because the further you will advance in the game, the less likely stores will be to appear, but in the jungles, they're still pretty frequent, and yeah, I'd like the shotgun, but I'm pretty sure if I bomb this grave open, the shopkeepers will be mad at me, because I'm pretty sure the one pan of wall is pretty much stuck into what the shopkeeper considers his territory, so okay, well, that wasn't a worthwhile investment, but at least it wasn't like glasses or a pair of bombs or whatever, so I think in the end it still wasn't too bad. With that said, I still would have preferred spike shoes over that, because in the ice caves, they are so useful. And while the spring shoes aren't too bad neither, because they can pretty much be useful everywhere, and in fact, they're really handy for going over tiki traps like this. But we're getting pretty much close to the point where they'll stop being useful. But at least the store happened on the first level, so we'll have plenty more tiki traps to jump over for the time being. And now for my magic trick. Watch me multiply the monkeys! I am a magician, and I finally look like a tiger. Yep, that's all that I have to say. Thank you, I'll be here all week. So usually if you see one of those little mounds with some vines on there, that's usually never where you need to go through the actual path of the level. It's always more of an alternate area where you can simply go and kill some more things. And yeah, by the way, monkeys can steal your items, by the way. Now this bastard stole me some ropes, and every once in a while you'll see them also steal away, well, your bombs. And they will also be ignited, by the way, because yeah, somehow monkeys manage to ignite bombs with their, well, I don't know, well, the monkeys had like psychic powers and like a system shock too, so maybe they also have these abilities into this game. Say what you want, I'll never get tired of using my damsel in order to clear away the baddies. I don't know, there's just something badass about sending a damsel, a manzel that wears no clothes and a bow tie, or a pug flying right in the face of your opponents in order to smite him. I mean, this pretty much has the best visual image to hit. And finally, it helps people grasp that, well, the people that you're saving are not really that defenseless in the end. They just need a little bit more conviction, and Mr. Tiger Mask here is the perfect man for the situation. So right down of here is a man trap. These plants will instantly kill you if you fall on them, but as you will see, they will also instantly kill other enemies that they walk on. But right now, I don't think this one guy will walk onto the trap or the man trap by himself, so we'll give him a hand. All of the trouble that we had to go down to in order to finally get a weapon back. So, in terms of AI, however, the plants are pretty passive. They just stroll back and forth, they don't really do any attempt to try and chase you, and that's pretty much the gist of it. So, we now have to melee this giant frog to death, and as you can see, it's still not very hard. These are the largest enemies of the game that really don't have anything that you must concern yourself about. The only thing which is noteworthy concerning this enemy is that you cannot stomp the giant frogs to death without the spike shoes. Your regular feet will not scratch him at all. Also, the giant frogs are noteworthy for giving you a green jewel whenever they die, or sometimes they will also give spring shoes, like the last one just did. All in all, it's a pretty nice gesture from them, and this pretty much just enforces the one fact of the game which shows that, well, all of the big enemies in this game will usually give you some kind of reward whenever you kill them, which is pretty nice. Oh yeah, earlier I was complaining about not having any spike shoes. Well, thank you Kelly for remedying to that situation. I owe you one, buddy. But don't think that our dealings with Kelly are over yet, because after you've gotten one item out of her, you still can earn some other item out of the deal. You just need to sacrifice some more corpses, or some more live enemies, but whenever you have the spike shoes, usually the corpses will be far more convenient to sacrifice, even though it will be far less practical for you to do, because you don't earn as much favor out of Kelly if you bring dead people than people who are alive. Usually, if you bring a live damsel, a hired help, or pretty much a second player to the altar, that will be enough to get you an item right out of the bat. I'm sorry, Ghost, but I must sacrifice all of my people in order for Kelly to love me. All of the murder and destruction must be successfully accomplished. This way everybody will be happy. So, in the past, I've always steered clear of Yeti, and I'll show why. Yeah, fuck Yetis. They are the worst. I mean, I just got thrown in this huge chain reaction where I just plummeted to the bottom of the pit happened without me having any possible saying about it. At least you've been able to see what the hung does. It pretty much acts as a 1-up. Whenever you die while you have it equipped, you will respawn with 4 more hit points at the beginning of the level. But there's also something else that must be done with the hung, which is necessary in order to go to the secret ending of the game. So right now that means that we can no longer go to it. But yeah, I said at one point that Yetis could be pretty intimidating, but I didn't need to showcase how exactly it happened. Ah, come on, I just want you to stick to the ball. Okay, you really don't want to be eaten alive. Oh god, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Oh god. All of the things that I will do in order to go to the worm. And unfortunately, it's all been unfulfilled. So that was the reason why we needed the Ankh. You see the Moai Okay, so that also was not very kind. I angered Callie because something off screen happened which blew up her altar. And now Callie is mad with us because... I don't know. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna talk about the Moai statue a little bit later, whenever he'll be relevant again. this is kind of the downside of the random mines that you see all over the ice caves, because sometimes there can be random enemies that end up walking on a mine that was placed on a halter, which will blow it up, and sometimes it can just be blown up by the little penguins that you will randomly see jumping all over the place, which is definitely a nuisance. Okay, so there's another halter down here. Hopefully I can finally make up for the little wrongdoing that I was not responsible of, but yeah, that's kind of the moot point. We're here in order to redeem ourselves. Also, you've just noticed how destructive the lasers of the UFOs can be, because they can just destroy the ground that it hits. And in the original game, they were even deadlier, because then the lasers will just... Oh no! Okay, Callie is very angry with me, and it was partially my fault, and now we have to suffer for it. That's the second punishment that you get from Callie when you blow up their halter. You just end up having a ball and chain attached to you, and no, you cannot get rid of it that easily. There is a way to get rid of it, but we won't talk about this until we'll have the opportunity to do so. And yeah, whenever you're holding the ball and chain, you also move very slowly. It's impossible for you to run while you carry it. And sometimes whenever you get yourself into motion good enough, well, you can also use your ball and chain in order to destroy blocks. But now this makes it so that we have to be very careful with every single one of our moves. Yeah, even in the interludes between the level, you move really slowly now, which is kind of a nice touch, I gotta say. And yeah, it feels like the 4th of July is the level condition that you will always get on the last level of the ice caves. It essentially just means that the entrance to the mothership is here. And this is just pretty much a reference to Independence Day, because there were aliens that blew up the White House. Okay, so now we can either try to do the jump like this, or we can just throw the ball and chain in order to allow us to do a running jump conveniently. I'm just gonna book it as fast as possible in the levels, because I'm in no means to explore right now. Oh, hello Tunnel Man! Yes, I'm gonna give you ropes, but couldn't you please remove that ball and chain from me, because that will be really nice? Okay, I guess not. Oh boy, the temple with a ball and chain is going to be very fun. At least we have sticky bombs in order to help us prevail, so hopefully that will turn the odds in our favor. Okay, now, well, first of all, we need the obligatory... Fuck you, shopkeeper. Now you've became worthless again. What can I tell you? My words are no longer to be found. So, I figured the time for an interesting experiment have come. Can we use the teleporter in order to help us alleviate our little limitation? So, before we have a new enemy here, the scorpion fly. They kinda fly like you like bats would. And finally, no, get away! Oh god, this is really troublesome. Okay, I guess I just need to drag my teleporter around and... Okay, we made it. Oh shit, no, okay, don't walk any closer, mommy, I cannot afford to go backwards. So, scorpion flies are a mixture between bats and scorpions, and... Oh god damn it, the teleporter does not allow me to go away from my ball and chain. It's so strong that it pretty much manages to defy all laws of logic and physics. So yeah, that's the end of our character, it seems. But we're not entirely done with this update. Now let's have a look at this new portion of the videos where I show what happens into past lives that our character have went through in order to get a successful update. So that's the best way to start an update, right? And also, I managed to get my hands on a camera again, so I'm gonna show you what happens whenever you take photographs of the ghost. Because this is the only weapon in the entire game that will affect ghosts, and yeah, the ghost is a she apparently, and it looks so pretty. It's very spooky, but it's full of love. thought was kind of an interesting way to fade to black. So let's finish this video by showing my less than stellar death into one of the playthroughs that I did. I want this game! Okay, but hey, at least I have the hunk in order to give me a second chance to live, right? Okay, I guess not. That went really bad. And yeah, after you fail the game a couple of times in your first playthrough of the game, you'll just have this different flavor text which just says, "This is really hard, but I can't give up." And this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna give up!